right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the GSL Team League, the GSTL match between StarTale and NS Hosa. Currently, NS Hosa Jockey has won 2 games in a row. There he is on the right. He has brought his team to a 2-1 lead, and StarTale has sent out Squirtle to try and stop him. And as we were just talking about in Caldor during the break here briefly, Jockey has been struggling against Protoss lately, so I think it's a strong move, but a little bit puzzled by the choice of Crossfire.
The thing with Jockey is, what can you actually do in order to take him down? His best matchup is the matchup against Zerg, sending out another Zerg player, therefore maybe not the best decision, especially after he just defeated July. Then he can also send out a Terran player, and statistically speaking, it's its weakest matchup, but the thing is, he was weak against Terran in the past, but lately he has been improving a lot. He took down every single Terran player in his last 10 matches, so very impressive by Jockey. A Protoss player, the right choice, and it's going to be Squirtle on Crossfire, which might be a little bit weird, but we'll see what he has. The choice of Crossfire could also be getting it out of the way for the later games, but at this point we have the StarTale player at the top right of the map, or Protoss.
StarTale! Squirtle!
And StarTale has to be very careful here. They already lost 2 of their players, so at this point it's getting kind of dangerous for them. At the bottom left we have their nemesis. It is in the blue color, the final player for NS Hosa.
NS Hosa! Jockey!
Yeah, this is a very important situation for StarTale. If they don't get this win, they're down 3-1 with Jockey in the chair, and that is a really bad situation for StarTale to be in. Then they'll probably have to send out, I don't know, well, who knows, maybe Bomber at that point actually to try and stop him, but that would be tough as well. Point being, they'd be very close to out of options, so very important for them to at least tie it up here so they're not too far behind.
I really want to see what Squirtle is going to do here. He knows obviously that taking an expansion on this map is quite hard because the Talon player, a lot of Talon players just go for a timing attack with siege tanks, claim the high ground at the expansion and try to siege down slowly but steadily. So either Squirtle is really comfortable against this kind of play and thinks that he can defend against it, or he has a special strategy prepared. We've seen gateway pressure in combination with Stargates, for example, which can be very strong on this map, especially when you proxy the Stargate, but at the same time it's a very all-in strategy. And the thing is, just statistically speaking, Squirtle is not the best player against Terran. He only has a 48% win ratio, which is his worst. He won against Keen in his up and downs, but he lost in the GSTL to Björn, for example. He lost to Tasia and Marine King at the Code A season and at the IGN. So I'm not quite too sure what the thought process is behind it. I'd really love to ask the coaches about this. They must have something in mind for this play. But let's just say what Squirtle is going to do here. While Jockey is expanding using his expansion and already with the reactor as the first add-on.
Yeah, and by the way, we saw Squirtle kept that probe around to try and scout for the reactor or any kind of add-on on that barracks after the first Marine came out, but he wasn't able to spot it. So very interesting. And but anyway, I wouldn't be surprised if Squirtle decides to go for some kind of a Stargate play actually, and he's going to build a Nexus pretty soon though. That's what it's looking like. There goes the Nexus down right now. He's going to expand as well. I was thinking that might be something to do, some kind of a Void Ray rush or all-in would be very strong on this map. But he's just going to go ahead and play a longer game. And oh, did that SCV? Yes, the SCV scouted the expansion before it perished. Very clutch scout there by Jockey. He's going to go up to 3 barracks as well after this command center.
With the gateways and the barracks, as you just mentioned, so both of them just trying to save the expansion, and, well, it's going to be really interesting to see what exactly Squirtle is going to do here. That's the one thing that I'm waiting for, his transition. Here comes the robotics bay. So he's just playing it pretty standard, and, well, for Jockey, we have the gas, we have the minerals. Could start with the first factory very soon, obviously also with the tech labs for the barracks, so that he can start with his add-ons, that he can take combat shield and stim him probably once again first for him. No second gas just yet. But yeah, just a pretty standard game up to this point. I was really thinking that maybe we see some kind of sneaky play by Squirtle, but this is not the case. Pylon to the bottom right though, trying to apply a little bit of 3-gate pressure apparently.
Yep, and that pylon is also there because it's on, you know, a very popular... Oh, and that probe does not get to see if there's an expansion there or not. Very popular route for, you know, if he's trying to get a drop to go all the way around the map, he can scout it if it flies over the bottom right. And oh, the stalker gets caught a little bit. Manages to get away with a little bit of shields left. But also, you know, if Jockji eventually tries to expand to that bottom right, the pylon might see it as well. So, kind of cool little placement there. Robotics facility is out now, and he's going to produce an observer. Squirtle hasn't been able to scout very much of what Jockji's up to at all, so he's probably going to get that observer to his opponent's base and see what is in there before he decides what to do with his next tech path. And oh, that pylon had such hopes and dreams, such potential.
Nice
Shut down
diamond.
in the prime of its life.
The first Immortals are being built, and as you could already see, we have a few sentries for Squirtle. At this point, the sentry count is really important, because with the sentries and control of the Xanaga watchtowers, you can make sure that you scout your opponent's push early on. You just delay it by just force-filling the ramp, and as soon as the siege tank are in play, the Terran player is forced to siege up, get vision onto the high ground, make sure that he can attack your sentries, that he slowly but steadily just pushes you back, and this delays his push by quite a bit. So that's something that Squirtle can definitely do. He's already preparing for a push as he has the first Immortal building, but the Observer is now spotting the main base and just seeing everything that's happening. And we have the starport that's already at the factory, and he doesn't get tanks just yet. He's just getting another reactor here. We're not going to see a tank push or any kind of too aggressive build by Jockji here.
Yep, and not by Squirtle either, just getting a 4th gateway up now. Not a ton of gateways, so he does have 4 gateways in a robotics facility, so he's still be able to put out a decent amount of units. And his observer is scouted, and he's seen that, okay, there's nothing too unusual going on here. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of pressure on. This is interesting. Just a couple stalkers, a couple of mortals. He needs to be careful because, I mean, if he actually engages what Jockji has, Jockji will own him. So
the sentries have a ton of energy. He can actually just try with the Immortal push that he's using right now. He could do a lot of damage if he uses perfect force fields. He's not completely like 100% committing to it.
And now he's got some more stalkers with it.
Getting the Twilight Council and also the Forge. But he can do a fair amount of damage here if he has good force field and waits for another round of warp-ins.
There's the next warp-ins. Okay, so now he has some meat to his army. He's got a fair amount of stalkers to put out damage. Another Immortal joined the mix as well. Here he goes in. He's going to try and go for it. Good force fields on the left and the right. He blocks all of the units out from attacking his forces. Will his Immortals just go to work, just doing work, killing off all kinds of stuff. He gets the bunker and falls back up the ramp, and he's going to get if he goes up the ramp, he can force field the ramp, cuts off a handful of units, and is going to kill those Marines as well with very few losses. Beautifully done by Squirtle, and now he can just force field that ramp on his way out and save himself the trouble of fighting that army in its entirety.
It was a great attack, putting on a lot of pressure, forcing Jockji to stim over and over again, something that he does not want to do, especially with only 2 medivacs on the field. We had a scan into the main base of Squirtle, so he knows what's coming. We already have the Twilight at the Templar Archive coming up, and he's going for charge, obviously. He needs the charge upgrade for the Zealots that he's going to warp in later on. It's just how Crossfire works. As soon as you have these such an amount of sentries, you can make sure that your opponent's attacks are delayed by such a huge margin, because it's just so easy to force field all these narrow pathways. It's a good job here by Squirtle, who's on even supply with his opponent and just getting more and more tech. Combat shield will be done in a few seconds. This is a little bit of a stalemate here in this situation.
A little bit, yes. I like this factory. Factory's just going for a little bit of a cruise, a little bit of a tour in Protoss territory. Storm is now being started. I like that. Storm is very, very good on this map. I mean, it's very good in general, but it's really nice to have Storm on this map. Your opponent gets clumped up into these small choke points oftentimes. Hard to spread out, so Storm can be very effective. And so we do see Squirtle kind of trying to delay for that. He's got Templar already.
+1 attack for the Marines and Marauders and 1 armor upgrade for...
Oh my god. What? Jockji bringing a ton of SCVs. 20 SCVs or so, it looks like. Along with this attack, he's going to try and break him right now. Storm is almost finished. If Storm finishes before the SCVs arrived, I think this battle will go to Squirtle. But he's got a short period of time. The SCVs are there. Storm is moments from completing. He's got 5 Templar, each with the energy for a Storm. Is it going to happen? He stims in. Storm finishes. He storms the army, forces him back up the ramp. Huge size storms forcing him back. Another couple storms. Nope, that one whiffed. He's only got a couple left. He needs to conserve those storms for huge hits, and that is what he needed. Nice.
He's still using the
Beautiful.
storms in order to be a little bit more passive, making sure that Jockji's not able to attack into him.
Oh!
While he waits for the next round of warp-ins. Very well played here. Awesome control by Squirtle. Obviously, also one very important factor was the storm that just finished in time. Now he's moving down the ramp. There's the GG. Squirtle, he's the man. He's able to take down Jockji, and therefore the series is tied once again.
Oh,
very important win here by StarTale.
If Jockji had attacked 10 seconds earlier, he would have won the game, I feel, but wow. Squirtle with the epic storm timing, finishing just moments after the attack was engaged and able to have those Templar in the back. He had made the Templar beforehand anyway. And there he is, walking right behind us, actually. There's Ace. Oh, are they going to do a ceremony? They're huddling over here behind us right now, thinking about it. Now we're getting a shot of the NS Hosa bench instead of the huddling StarTale players. Maybe they got something planned. They might also just be discussing strategy for whoever's going to send up next from NS Hosa.
I would not be surprised to see Seal.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't either. He did so well for them recently that he would be a strong player to send out in this situation.
You could use a Terran player, for example, on dual side. That would also be a possibility. And the map is going to be dual side, so I guess we're going to see a Terran player.
Very likely Terran player, yeah.
Scalp or Sting? I would say Sting.
I don't know. It's hard to say. Sculp did really well in the team league for them previously, but he's a little inconsistent. Sometimes if he's nervous, as with his Code A matches, he doesn't play the best, makes some mistakes. He's very good at macro, though. I don't know, it could be either one, but you're right. It's very likely going to be a Terran player, and of course they already used Jockji, so it can't be him.
Dual side, definitely a good map for one-on-one builds. You can also attack with 2 base timings. The Protoss player is kept guessing quite often because he can't get a decent read on the Terran player early on and has to prepare for anything, and it's not going to be easy with the push distances on the 2-player map being very, very small. Can put a lot of aggression. So we are going to find out who's going to be the player for NS Hosa, and Squirtle showed a very, very good performance against
clutch victory by Squirtle. So they were going to be down 3-1, and instead it's 2-2, and it is going to be... Is that Sting? Oh, it's Seal, actually. They are sending out Seal. They're sending out a Zerg player on dual site.
Well, as said before, I actually suspected Seal to come up first. When I saw the map, when I saw that it's Daybreak, I definitely suspected a Terran player to be chosen.
Dual site, yeah. And this makes a little bit of sense, actually, because
they want to get rid of the map because they have still Sage, Sand, and Tasta in the lineup. A lot of Terran players here, so
yeah, they don't want
Protoss players, so they don't want any Terran to snipe them. Bomber, for example.
You're exactly right. They don't want to be able to send out Bomber on dual site later on to take out Sage later on, for instance. So that's actually it's actually a really intelligent observation there. You're exactly right. That's why they've chosen this map for their Zerg player Seal.
And let's not forget that this is also not the worst Zerg map against Protoss. It's definitely a map where you can put a lot of aggression. Zergs kind of... there was a time when Zergs really loved to play on this map because every Protoss player would go for the Forge expansion build.
Yeah, but it's very difficult to Forge expand on this map.
And then you can't just hit your 2-base timing with Roaches, with Roach Ling, for example. And it's, well, most Protoss players just figured out how to do it. FC, for example, played extremely well against most Zerg players on this map. He held one all-in after another. And we've even seen some Protoss players trying to go for a gateway first play once again, so that they can put on early aggression. Something that is a lot more, well, it's not really all that common, but it's getting more and more popular at this point.
Yeah. No, I mean, some Protoss players have definitely figured out methods for getting the Forge of Command to work on this map, but it's just so exposed. The natural is wide open. It's a very good, very strong choice there. So we're going to get into game number 5. It's tied at 2 apiece. Who is going to take the 3-2 lead? Will it be Squirtle taking it for StarTale, or will Seal, the star of their last match, take a lead for NS Tosa? We're about to find out.